Greetings in the name of Lisa.
Hello. Hi, Troy. How are you?
How are you? I
Good.
am wonderful.
Good,
Come on.
good. Nice to see your face and eyes again. It's been quite some time. And we have a very special connection as a brother sisterhood. And I'm just so grateful to see you again and grateful for your spirit in coming on. It's such a blessing. So thank you. Mhm.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So,
Uh,
yes, I am Lisa, and I am the co-founder of Living in Color. It's been some time since I've done a show with anybody, and I'm so grateful that Troy has agreed to come on and do a special episode with us today. I have gone offline for about the past year and a half and did some travels through Costa Rica. And so this brings up our subject today of where we are going forward with humanity and being of service to humanity. Costa Rica in Central and South America is not the easiest place, as you would know, Troy. And being down there for quite some time, I was over and abroad for just over a year. Left the show business and kind of went on a journey to expand Living in Color. And there were some dark times and there were some absolutely amazing times. So that will come
yeah.
about, definitely, definitely. I know you're excited to hear a little bit more about it, Troy, and thank you for
Well,
following
I'm laughing because I'm laughing.
through those times.
Sorry. I'm laughing because, it's not hard if you have money. But when you're living on $300 a month, you gotta be like a sly mongoose. We are not good at Spanish. Everybody's working for $2 an hour, and your $300 goes a long way, but it comes with difficulty. You're not exactly living exactly where you want to live, and you're not in exactly the right tone where you can resonate with the people properly. And then you were forced into a culture to understand. And this is our learning. This is learning. If you want to learn, go travel. Then you grow up really quickly. But thank you for taking that risk. And I know that you have lots of stories there, and so do I, because I spent 4 years myself in Panama and visited Costa Rica as what we call a border run, which you're familiar with.
Yes, definitely.
So
it is a little.
You want to share any of your stories, or you want to share one? You want me to share one of my stories? And I have so many.
I know you do. I know you do. Well, Spirit totally guided me to head down there and to be of service to humanity. Also finishing off the light and color therapy course that I took and created the program Living in Color. Living in Color is now an online program that includes interior decorating, the foods that we eat, the music that we listen to, and a correlation. So being down there in Central America, there's a lot of Catholics and Christians. So being a spiritual person on this journey, a lot of people are like, and living off that $300 a month. It wasn't, or however much money. I mean, this place could be paradise. But when you're out there to survive and you're doing the work that you have to do, isn't always, where our heart center is. So I'm back here in Canada, and I'm grateful to interview Troy Megill. And if you want to tell us a little bit about your journeys, or let's dive right into what we have to dive into. And I think that our subject today is going to be a little bit about religion. So it's up to you where you'd like to start, Mr. Megill. I'm really excited to
I
pick
just,
your brain and hear all about it. So.
well, it's like this. Everywhere is programmed differently. So if you want to learn your program, you don't just sit down in one country and one environment and learn yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to China, different language, different custom, different everything, they'll have a whole different unique set of blocks for them that you wonder, what the hell is wrong with all of these people? They have this block. And
Yeah.
they're looking at you over in North America and saying, what's wrong with these people? They have that block. And we look down into South Africa or wherever, and then they have those blocks. So everybody has a block. So I say, then if you move between one and the other, and you can see everybody else's block, and then you can start to see your blocks, then you realize that you could use that triad and fix everything. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people, I could write a book on Paradise Lost, meaning that I met so many people in my life chasing paradise and ended up lonely on a beach by themselves. Mm-hmm. And this is the truth. Mm-hmm. Yachts, there's thousands of yachts in Panama stock that you could buy for the docking fee for the year, because they're just not paid, because people buy into a dream and find out that they're alone. Mm-hmm. So I feel, that in your case, there was a lot of times you did feel alone. And in my case, I had times when I did feel alone, because language barriers, you can ask for food and you can say hello and whatever, but having a deep, meaningful conversation in two languages that are broken, it doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. So eye-to-eye contact and smiles and flirts goes to a certain point, but to an intellect, we need mental stimulation. So that's lacking in Paradise. Mm-hmm. And stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So I know you're a very well-traveled person, and spending a lot of time. You're originally from Jamaica, and doing these travels, what have you learned about the awakening process and people following a certain way or a certain doctrine about who we are and why we're here? What comes about from being so passionate about helping people and realizing, breaking the illusion, crossing the veils? What can you give us on your travels and being who you are?
That's a book you just asked me. Like, what chapter in the book do you want? Oh, I just like when you were formulating the question there, I went through about a third of the book and wondering which one to pick. So it's leading to mind manipulation via religion and the tendency for human beings to want to be known, identified with, and not lonely, So grouping together in like, oh, you believe this, you believe that, you believe this, you believe that, and then, they're common ground. So the spirit, ourselves, desires company, desires intimacy, desires all of this. The human ego construct has to fulfill this, and then there is a match between them. So the desire of the spirit is used in the other software as a trap. And what's happening is there was a careful devised program that was installed in our software at about the time of Noah's flood. And if you carefully look at this tiny segment that was left in the Bible, the bubble, you will find that there was a conflict with one son with Noah, the survivor of that deluge, they call it. The son Ham found out something about his father's nakedness, which could be read as vulnerability, and he was sent to Africa. But what happened is that human beings stopped living 900 years and started living 120 years. And it said that God did this. Well, it wasn't God, it was who was playing God with us.
Right.
And these gods, Anunnakis, because we're going to talk about them, are what who programmed from their culture to our culture as a left brain logical being that lives infinite amount of times. They're the fallen ones. They're the ones that are left brain traps, the egotistical ones. They're integrated in us. They developed us. They made us. It goes a long way. But how does it go back to traveling? You know, it can go really deep down the rabbit hole. Well, where I'm going is down into the bottom of the roots, where all human beings are manipulated. All human beings have been programmed with levels of programs that are so deep that we don't even know who we are anymore.
So true.
And when you start to act your true self, the program is run on them to say, that guy's nuts, take him out. That's why they took Jesus out.
Right.
That's why they had the energy that they could, because Jesus gave himself to them. He says, okay, I have to fulfill this prophecy bullshit or whatever, pretend I died so I can have you guys off my back. But the energy of wanting to kill this being that didn't hurt no man had to exist.
Yep.
And for it to attack an infinite spirit, the infinite spirit allowed it to be attacked. But just the energy of hate against this man was a demonstration of the program that is instilled in humanity that is caused this virus of destruction and separation. And everything I talk about is to get to that point where the ego is slayed. You know, I'm busy saying, like, come, take me on. I'll take down any one of you. You're going to call me crazy. Of course you're going to call me crazy, but you can't answer my questions and I can answer your questions. So who's nuts, right?
Yeah.
Just expressing a part of my spiritual warriorship.
Yes.
Where you have to be that tough person to take it all on. You know, it's like this guy we're talking about, my brother Jesus. He went to them and called them sons of devils, and your father was a murderer. He was talking about their father, Enlil, the one who was the lord of this planet, the one who completely dominated the thoughts, the one who took away our rightful passage and knowledge in the Garden of Eden, the one who cursed us to feed ourselves from the sweat of our brow and for women to bear labor and to be afraid of the snake. And the snake was actually his brother, who was telling us the truth.
Yes.
And into the snake.
Yes. And I actually wrote a post the other day about the serpent. And, you know, a lot of people view the serpent as being a bad thing, or a lot of people have a phobia against snakes and stuff like that. And us human beings, you know, when we tend to shed our skin and finally open our eyes, when a snake or a serpent is actually going through the skin change, we don't see clearly. And until we actually shed that skin from us, then we are actually able to open our eyes. So I understand where you're coming from with Jesus and people being blinded to this book, this doctrine that has, you know, programmed so many people's minds into believing one way, but they never actually read between the lines. And there's many ascended masters that people believe in, and this is where religion came into play. And so many people around the world have actually been programmed to believe a certain religion in a certain way, but a lot of our ascended masters are us. You know, we have that God within, And a lot of these men and these women that have gone through the transition of opening the eyes of the regular human being, or our souls, is a big subject. It's a huge subject, and we've been blinded from this for so long as a society. So going forward, Troy, what is your light within helping us with the information going forward in this timeline, in this setting right now? What is your insight to what's going on in the world right now?
Okay. It's a time of awakening. And the awakening happens when beings like myself wake up. There is a number of us that were prophesied that we would wake up. Waking up means that every level of deception is now understood. You understand yourself. You understand your 57 years of experience on this planet, your DNA, your mother's and father's genes, why you're behaving a certain way. And you forgive yourself for all of that. You forgive all of your past, all of this, meaning that your grandparents, whatever, because they were really you, your actions, your time, your program, but that's a complex thing to go into. And walk into your truth, because your truth of your existence, with you accepting all that you are and all that you came from, and not being a victim to anything, you align yourself with something that was beyond the third dimension understanding. Is you create a portal to your higher self, which your higher self has a very, very bright light, if you just want to look at it as light, or an energy source. And it can only be transferred into the third dimension through a human instrument, through a human being. Nobody outside can shine the light in, and nobody inside the box knows what the light is, where it comes from. They get glimpses and they go, oh, they start chasing it all over the place. So what happens is that when being is truly aligned, he is now passing the information from the higher thing through the experiences and channel, like an FM tuner, your piano band is like an FM dial. Which one do you want? 107 rock, disco, whatever, right? And so it's tuning in, and it's like, I'm into 107 rock. Well, okay, so I'm rocking. And you know, Einstein did that. They tuned into a certain channel, and they really like brought it in. So what I decided to do is, it's all well and good. Most people reach a path and they go, you know what, then I'm going to take advantage of this, get all the women in the world, take over, get money, get rich and all that. And they sell out. And they say, it's enlightened. I wrote 1 million books and I'm very happy. Be like me, be like me. Well, I'm sorry to do this, but this is Christ consciousness. This is what Christ consciousness is. This is another thing that was hijacked, right? Because Christ consciousness is, here's the thing. Jesus said, and this was properly quoted because I read it in 2 books, in the Bible and the real one. He said this, that I did not come to put father and son to be happy together, or mother and daughter and mother-in-law. People will be divided over me. No, Christians take it as, well, I talk about Jesus and they don't like me, so I get it. But really what it means is that you have to become a sovereign individual that everybody else is not programmed to accept.
Exactly.
And they're going to say, what's wrong with you? I'm just being me. I didn't follow that friggin' Bible line or that morality line that you had, because it didn't serve anything.
Right.
It didn't serve me as an infinite spirit that is here to have fun, but make sure that I'm responsible in having fun.
Yes.
That's the balance, right? And so going back to this, if one can reach this point and decide that, okay, I'm not going to sell out and sell books and become a happy guru and whatever, and you can conduct this into, take that light and shine it in the White House and burn out them bomber clad. And shine it in the Pentagon and burn out them bomber clad. And shine it in the CIA and burn out them bomber clad. And shine it wherever they have any darkness. Shine it out. That's what we do.
Yes, yes, yes. Being an individual and realizing that light within, it's caused so much divide around the world, religions, and not just Catholic and Christian, Allah and Buddhist. It's really caused a divide amongst the world. And
it was designed that way. It was totally designed that way. If I even look at Moses and like Passover, I brought up Passover the other day, and everything is sensitive. But, you know, you're interviewing me, Lisa, this is an interview. It just has to be honest.
yes.
And honest is, here is the land of Egypt with children and everything, and they have an order of things. And here's a version that's told to us that there are people that were slaves there, and there was a guy that went and said, hey, yo, let my people go. And if you don't let them go, this is going to happen. And it came to a point where the firstborn were murdered. And there's a holiday for it ever since, 3,500 years ago. A holiday on murder. That's not God, Lisa.
No.
That's Enlil. That's Zeus. That's the one who set up religions on this planet. And he did it in everything, everywhere. Rome, Babylon, the Muslims, Islam, everybody got a taint of it. And what they did was give different versions so that you keep fighting over whose version is the real version.
Exactly.
And meanwhile, keep slaughtering the Crusades, this, Iraq, bam, 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 bam. Who harvests the souls? Who gets the loosh? Who gets the energy? The mighty Lord Enlil, the one who took over our whole planet. It's written in a book. It's written in a book by Zachariah Stitchin. It's called The Lost Books of Enkai.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy translated these books. And then the Cabal or the Illuminati tells everybody, he's one of us. He's dying. He's not right. He eats children. And then the people believe it. And so they don't read Zachariah Stitchin's books. Right. And so one vote of 1.11% reads these books and gets the knowledge. It's a good thing I don't listen to everybody else. This is how to become a sovereign individual. Stop listening and following everybody else. Follow you.
That's correct. Yep. Your higher light. Exactly. The light that's within. Now, I'm not sure if you wanted to get more into the religion part of kind of things, or if you want to maybe expand on the awakening that we are going through with the control that we've had over the years in our government systems and being controlled by them, and our awakening as the masses. You know, with social media and all that kind of stuff that we have, technology at our hands, and realizing who these people are and having the control over us. Is that something that you want to get into, or is there something maybe? I
think everybody else talks about this, right? Everybody knows so much more about this now. So I will go back to 5 or 6 years ago before they knew about it and read some of my posts. They're all there.
Yes.
Right? I found one 2 years ago. I said, now we know everything. Now is the time when you take down the CIA, you find out about everything. And now 2 years later, it's happening.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, it is. Big time.
We were doing it all the time.
Yes.
But we just weren't efficient doing it because we doubted if we had the permission to do it because of the program.
Right.
You can't do this. You can't do that. Everybody goes or nobody goes. No, nobody dies. I say this, it's all an illusion. Your infinite spirit goes into another dimension. You don't even know you died. I've died 3 times.
In this lifetime.
In this lifetime. You know, paramedics come and say, who is in this vehicle? And you go, us. They shout at us. Where are you? We could, like, the car is like half the size. And these paramedics are shouting at us, telling us, don't lie. No, you can get in trouble for this. And we're like, no, it's us. We were in that car. Okay, are you okay? You know? And then change stories. So yeah, we weren't supposed to die. You know when time slows down? You know when you get hit and then the car gets hit? Yeah, finished. Well, it's like this. And then you have time to say, oh shit, I'm dead. Am I dead? Oh God. Oh God. Is this it? No? Oh my God. I got hit by this big car behind. All this thing went through your head. And then we hit the friggin' thing and the windshield flies out and I like go back into the 3D world and it slows back down to regular time. You breathe and you ask your friend, you okay? Yeah, my back's hurting. My back, you know? Okay, no, you know, it's like, and then you come out the car. Bashar says, yeah, you know that close call? You know that close call where you nearly died? You died.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but you are on a mission.
We've been here many lifetimes, and you know,
we're on a mission. It's like you're gonna die in a car accident in 1988. No, that can't happen. Get back on the road, right? I'm gonna get a drink of water. I'll be right back.
Mr. Troy Megill, he's always so delightful in chatting with, and some of his posts that have been on Facebook are very controversial. So chatting with him today is such a pleasure. And brings, but you know, a lot of giggles. He's not always as serious as he seems on Facebook, but I do suggest to follow him and follow his posts. We're a growing community here, and we have lots of people that have our backs in going forward to serve humanity. So thank you again, Troy, for those little giggles. I appreciate it. It's always it's always a blessing. It's always a blessing to laugh at these. You know, these serious, the serious kind of stuff that's going on in mainstream right now. So it's always a pleasure to, you know, get that laugh out. So thank you.
Oh, you know, mainstream, it's a distraction. Everything is a distraction to us, you know, and it is our choice to engage in the distraction. So we choose to get distracted because it's like, okay, where do I want to put some light? Okay, and you put it on the Trump towers. You keep putting it on Mr. Trump tower and Mr. Trump tower. So Mr. Trump is getting big because you just give him an energy, right? And we're trumping Trump, but Trump thinks he's trumping everybody else because Trump is the ego Trump. And so the spiritual Trumps use the ego Trumps to do the work.
Right.
And that's what we do. Right. So hello, egos. You're all going to get shot down.
That's a whole nother subject of what's going on right now is the presidency in America, and let's try not to steer off too far in that direction. But because I mean that could be a whole other show, you know, for what's going on there right now. You know, people do see in mainstream for what they want to see the ego side, but you know, coming from a light point of view. We also see what's going on, and it's like, I'll play the puppet card for a minute.
You see, this is the thing. Let's not steer it up.
Yes.
Let's not steer it up. Let's not steer it up. Because we don't want this long time.
Yes.
Have all of this on your mind.
So with that being said, I know our video is going to be absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, people don't want to watch, you know, a whole hour or two long of videos. So I want to get out this information that you have, that you'd like to get out, and us being connected. And so what do you have to say on the subject of, you know, what you want to talk about in the awakening, the religions, and all this kind of stuff at this time?
The examples were given when I said that don't get to a point where you go and write the book. That's not the end of the story. We're here to change it for everyone else. to understand that we have never ever existed in our true form of manifestation, of knowingness. We've always been hijacked, sidetracked, bumped, derailed, vaccinated, suppressed, depressed, confused. We've never ever had it. And the objectivity of connecting back to our spiritual self is to get aligned with our truth, which is truth without confusion, truth without conflict, truth without an external God, truth knowing that it is your truth as I speak my truth of the conduit of light coming through me to express my truth into this dimension. That isn't truth. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for sheep who obey. This is not going to do it. Mm-hmm. That system that was created that traps the human uniform is the sheep, is that mentality. It's obey. And there are so many, and we know that think that this moral outlay of what you're supposed to do and be kind and giving and this is just it. That holds a vibration of truth, and it is beautiful as an example, but it is not the matrix shifter. Right. That is a foundation for the ones who are brave enough to step out of that and go forward. This is why the bravest of the brave, the fittest of the fittest shall survive, stay alive. So could you be loved and be loved? The road is very rocky and you will stumble too. So why'd you point your fingers at someone else? Stop judging you.
Beautiful.
This is a thing. This is a thing. The program is set up to judge. And even don't judge is a part of the judge. Because I said, yeah, you judge that I judge. That's a judge, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's mainly, I see, the Edgar Tolle is, I see, Cryon, I see everyone. They're divinely connected to a truth, and they're giving it they're shedding their light into the direction is a part of it. Everywhere there's a piece of light going into a part of it. I'm just expressing what I am, who I am. And I'm telling people, no, I'm not here to wake anybody up. Lots of people, I'm here to make the energy right. I'm here to shift the energy so that it can enhance and break that dam down, and it can multiply and perpetuate, So like me, I figure out what thought is, how thoughts happen, what's projection of thought, what people call it. That's your mirror. No, it's not your mirror. It's almost like a convex in one direction of thought, and the other direction fits into it. Mm-hmm. And I give a simple example. I'm lonely. Well, when I have company, I'm clingy, and then everybody else doesn't want to be around me because they sense my loneliness and they're afraid of it. That's what's happening in our matrix. We're pushing and pulling. Until you love yourself, then there's equal magnets that, hey, slide around and do things instead of like, bumping into each other. It's like push and pull. Oh, my twin flame, that's why it didn't work out. Okay. That's why it didn't work out, because you have these opposing thoughts. So deciphering, 7 years ago, I figured the change was going to be from a world that was manipulated by a currency to a world where thoughts were everything, and your pure thoughts was everything. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I'm in university. Nobody's going to pay me. I'm going to figure out how to get to that state. And in that state, I'm promised that all my dreams come true. So let's see what that door looks like. Let's see what that door looks like. Let's see what that door looks like. And you keep walking through these doors, right, and changing everything. But I don't use word buts. That's why I stopped.
I know you don't. Not in your vocabulary.
I started to use the word yet. Yet, it could be yet. There's another possibility.
Right.
That's another thing too. Vocabulary is very important because what we
Very,
speak creates, and
very.
language was created to have misintention or misdirected. If you're ignorant of something and you say it, then you give the ones who are knowledgeable of it the power,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
And
Well,
so that.
yeah, and
Go
that's
ahead.
where it comes into play as well. The language that we do use when we're speaking to another person, or when we're even speaking to ourselves, and what we read. And I believe this is where a lot of people have been distracted, is because what they read, or the way that they speak, is gone into their head, and this is now what's being projected. So what does come out of our mouth, and what we do read, is actually programmed into our brains. So we've got to be very, very weary of what we are, how we are speaking, and what we're reading, or how we're deciphering information. And until we actually bring in that information, that golden light, that golden information, till then are we able to decipher the words that we speak, and be able to really actualize what we are reading. So when it comes down to the separation, the division that we have had in this lifetime, we have to be very cautious about the way that we're speaking, and the way that we're reading. And I think the
Okay.
biggest source of information that's coming through right now is to be your own light, and speak the truth, and write the truth. And I
Hmm.
that you had said that you're going to be writing a book. I'm very interested in seeing when that book does come out, because you're a wealth of knowledge. And I do believe that we are going to do many more interviews on many more enlightening subjects. And I'm leaving maybe the last 5 minutes up to you, in what you want to close out to let people know.
I'm not writing a book, it's written already. It's for the
Oh.
editors to find it. It's for the editors to find it. It's like, throw me con, call no foul. It's part of the whole thing. You have this information that would absolutely shift if anybody could, but everybody's ego is saying, no, that's his way. How many followers do he have? No, he's not that popular. Let me go follow somebody else. They're more popular. So this is
Right.
what's going on, right? And
Yes.
so, it's I could talk about this forever, but it's not that I have no resentment against everything. I just look at, like, reality is my playground, and the players on the field are out to get me for my own good. So I'll play nicely with them, and if they're nasty to me, I'll trip them, and I'm not playing by the I'm a good guru kind of thing. No, I'm a spiritual warrior, and I'm real, and I love certain words that I will use that might be this whatever to anybody else. So that's where I'm coming back on now. Caution.
Yes.
There is no such thing in caution with flow, and there's no such thing as caution. Is your mind. Your mind is saying, careful, careful. Remember the time when you broke your leg? Careful. So there is no caution in flow. If you're a spirit, right, it's going to be like you get pushed out the plane, you're going to fly.
Yeah.
You're going to fly, and you're going to end up somewhere safe. Never for once that I'm going to die, right? But you never know. The angel might come and get you because it might not be your time.
So true, brother. So true. Well, thank you for coming on
Yes.
with us today, and giving us a little bit of light into this subject that's very important at this time. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you for doing this, and it will go well. I just wanted to say this. Like, I believe these are going to be one of many is I have a Facebook personality and I have another personality. My Facebook personality, there's 3,100 people on it, and they can all, the ones that really matter, can all find me. And so everything is numbers to me right now. I see everything and everyone's expression. I get reports. I see, I change the energy. I shift it. It's like, it's a dashboard to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dashboard. So don't judge me from my Facebook personality.
Mm-hmm.
That's a personality created for certain interjections of thought. Because if I make the example, hey, Lisa, you got cancer, you need to drink this, you need to do that, and your mind is going, I'm not fucking doing that, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing it. Because it's part of the program. Yes. So when I was making my millions of dollars and flowing, you know what I used to do? No, you can't have it. Mm-hmm. And then they wanted it. I'll pay you more. I said, no, I'm not giving it to you because I don't need you as a customer. They will pay me more. So I'm using the same strategy because the people that give things away, nobody wants them. The people who have them like, they're mine, they're chasing them. So consciousness is something that's been trying to be given away on this planet and nobody wants it.
Right.
So we're going to flip it around. We spiritual warriors are going to flip it around where they will be paying billions of dollars to learn how to be disconnected.
Right, right.
Shift everything around. The currency is now thought. Currency is now love. Currency is the benchmark for all that is, not for a greedy, separate self that is extracting our energy for their own use. This is the time of awakening, and this is the awakening when we find our own powers. All these visions of taking off and Metatron and Saint Germain and all that, these are stories that are given to us from above so that we will have a mental concept of good and evil and structure and who to align with and all that. Because when we walk through that door, we will find out it's just a story, and we're fighting over our own stories.
That's right.
So I'll leave on that line.
And thank you. And just to justify what you had just said, and with religion, it has been a big money maker in the past hundreds of years. So whatever religion anybody was following, it was definitely a money thing. And with us spiritual beings, it's not one side or the other of religion. And a lot of our gifts that we have within is not a money-making tool. We're all humanitarians here trying to shift the paradigm of humanity. And monetary stature is still in play, but with us being spiritual beings, it's not a money-making thing. And we all have our projects that we're going forth with. And blessings to you for having the knowledge and the wisdom to bring this forth. I really respect you for your wisdom, your soul, your energy, and everything that you are in this lifetime. And thank you so much for coming on today. And I know that we're going to have many more, topics to discuss. If anybody wants to follow Troy in Facebook, social media, his name is Troy Megill, Megatron. He does have a couple pages. Do you want to maybe say a couple of pages that you do have that are on Facebook, social media for now, or do you want to keep that hush-hush?
No, if they find me, they'll find everything. That's
okay.
It's just Megill, Megill, not like university. I will have nothing to do with their universities. They're mind traps.
But you are a wealth of knowledge, my friend, my brother. You are a wealth of knowledge, and I truly respect you for everything.
Lisa, I'm just somebody's reflection. I'm just your reflection. I'm just a part of everyone else. I'm just a version of themselves. Maybe a part of themselves that they're afraid to be. Doesn't matter. They're afraid, they dislike it or whatever, right?
Let's not be afraid.
I'm so loved. Yep. I'm so loved, I can afford hate.
Let's not be afraid. Let's not be afraid to move forward
Afford.
and shine our light. And I'm speaking for humanity. Do not be afraid in
Yeah.
going forward with your own light instead of following what we've always been programmed to follow. This is exactly what my brother and I are talking about. Be that light for humanity and go forward with your own gifts. We all have God within. And as a society, continue to move forward with that light and your gifts and be able to be a service to humanity. So thank you again, Troy. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you again for taking this time. I know we'll be in touch soon, probably like 5 minutes after this video. Thank you again, brother, for coming on and shining a little bit of light on this subject. Thank you.
One love.
One love, brother.
Signing out.
One love. Thank you.
Love one, one love. Love one, one love.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. From T. Lisa, Living in Color, and Troy Megill. We'll end it here, and we'll be in touch soon. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Bye, brother.
Bye.